go. I wonder if we're live. Sorry to keep you all waiting for so long. I'm at this place that should be very familiar to you if you're a long-time viewer of my channel. And today I'm planning a pretty long walk actually. I'm gonna walk all the way to Nakano if I can make it. That's about 8 kilometers from here. Originally I was planning to start closer to home, which would have made it like 11 kilometers, but I thought maybe that's pushing it a little bit too far. So yeah, I'll start here instead at Sangenjaya, which most of you should be familiar with. It's a beautiful day here in Tokyo, clear blue skies, a little bit chilly still, it's just 7 degrees here. But yeah, pretty good walking weather. So let's go. It's been a long time. It's been a month since my last live stream. I will tell you more why as we get further into the walk. But yeah, for now, let's start. Good to see so many of you waiting, by the way. That means that maybe some of you have missed me, which warms my heart to see. So I would basically walk pretty much straight up north from Sangenjaya. So I will head first to Shimokitazawa, and from there I will pass Sasazuka, Nakano Shimbashi maybe, and then finally we should reach Nakano in about 1.5 to 2 hours, I guess. We'll see, depends on how fast I walk and how many, if any, coffee breaks we make. I did also send a message to my coffee guru, who actually happens to live close to this neighborhood, inviting him to join the stream, but I'm not sure if he will do that or not. We'll see. And yeah, I think a lot of people are still on their way to work. It's pretty early. The train was relatively crowded here. The worst part of the morning rush has already passed, but yeah, I think some people maybe who works in stores that opens at like 11, they might be on their way to their workplaces now. But yeah, I haven't streamed in a month. That's an unusually long break for me. But November turned out to be a very, very busy month. I had over 10 photo shoots. Some of them were like full day bookings. One was in Kyoto, not in Kyoto, in Kobe. So I've been traveling a lot. We've been to Kawaguchiko several times for photo shoots as well, both me and my wife. We actually went there this weekend as well. Came back last night. And yeah, very busy with work, and then on top of that I was like sick for a week. Very strange. Like I had like 39.7, 39.8 degrees fever, which is very high and something I rarely get. I think I've only had fever that high once before, and that's when I had COVID. And I of course assumed that I got COVID again, but I actually got tested twice. First with a home test and then also at the hospital, and both those turned out negative. They also tested me for influenza, which was also negative, so I still don't know what it was. But yeah, I was basically unable to do anything for about a week. That fever was that high for like 3 days. That's quite concerning. So yeah, but now I'm good again. I'm Genki, and I'm excited to be walking with you. And also, fortunately, it looks like December is not gonna be as busy as November, so I hope I'll be able to do more walks this month than last. All right, did the video? Some of you have technical issues with the video. That's weird. It all looks good here on my end. Yeah, I can still watch the live stream. Nothing, no problems here. Very odd. But yeah, so I was not in a good shape for quite some time. But I recovered about a week ago. Yeah, over a week ago. So now I'm fine. And it's good to walk the streets of Tokyo. And by the way, the reason why I'm walking to Nakano today is because I want to check out the lens that I might pick up. Good to hear that you missed me. Yeah. I mean, I've posted a few videos, but those were like pre-recorded videos from the Osmo. So yeah, last live stream was with Lemmy a month ago. Over there is Shibuya, by the way. But I'm not gonna head that way today. Creek had a flu and it took 6 weeks to recover. Wow, that sounds like a pretty bad flu. Hope you're well now. But yeah, let me tell you a little bit about Kawaguchiko. So for those of you who don't know the place, it's a beautiful little town at the foot of Mount Fuji. It takes about 2 hours for us to drive there from where we live. There's also a highway bus which takes a little bit longer. I think you can take a bus from Shinjuku there in about 2 hours as well. And it's a truly beautiful place, much more beautiful than this King Kong dude here. You have this picturesque lake, and then as a backdrop you have the super impressive Mount Fuji. And yeah, both me and my wife have been getting a lot of requests for photo shoots there recently. And it's actually a place that we used to visit at least once a year, like privately as well. So since we were starting getting so many requests and we liked that place so much, we started talking about buying our own little place there. I mentioned this on a previous video as well. And this weekend we actually went to have a look at an apartment. There are plenty of relatively cheap apartments available. A lot of what's called like resort mansions, which were usually built in the 80s and 90s and sold as kind of like, yeah, second home for Japanese people who got very rich during the bubble era. And those apartments can be found for pretty cheap right now. So we found a place with stunning views that looked to be in pretty decent condition, and the price was also pretty reasonable. It was less than 5 million yen for a pretty big, like 50-60 square meter apartment. There was actually several units available in this building, and usually the catch with those apartments is that they can be very, very expensive in terms of running costs, like monthly fees. Some of them have like their own onsen built in, and to maintain the onsen and for the cleaning, the heating of the water and whatnot, it can cost a lot. But this one had pretty reasonable monthly fees as well. It was like a little over 20,000 yen per month, so that's like what, $150 per month in maintenance fees. So we thought like, okay, it kind of ticks all the right boxes. It's like, has a nice view, it's in relatively good condition, decent location, big enough for all of us. So yeah, we went to have a look at several units in that building, and it was really, really good. It was super, super tempted. Pretty close to deciding for it, but then we learned the big red flag, which was that this building was electrical only, meaning that there's no piping for gas. Usually gas is what's used for heating and cooking in Japan, but this building was everything was electric, and all the equipment was yeah, from when it was originally built, so like late 80s, early 90s. And turned out that you needed a very expensive electricity plan just to have like enough juice to heat the place and make sure that the water tank would be like yeah, was able to heat the water properly. So the electricity cost just for the plan would be 26,000 yen, and that's like without any usage, just the monthly cost for the plan. And then of course probably as much or even more to actually run the place, depending on how often we would be there. So yeah, in the end that turned out to be the reason we turned this place down. That was a bit unfortunate, but it was also a very good learning experience, because that kind of information you can't really get that from the housing ads here. They usually don't give you all those details. They just tell you the price and the monthly maintenance cost, like for the housing association. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Brad, for the welcome back fund. Thank you, appreciate it. So yeah, that was unfortunate, but we will keep looking. Otherwise, it ticked a lot of the right boxes, but yeah, if we would have to pay more monthly for that place compared to our main home in Tokyo, it would just, yeah, it would be a very unwise financial decision. Halfway to Sangenjaya already, or halfway to Shimokitazawa, sorry. The place before the new earthquake building codes. Well, I think anything newer than mid-80s should be fine. There's been some revisions since then, but pretty minor. But I think the big like the age to be aware of is like if it was built, I don't remember the exact age, 85, 86, I think. That's when they kind of made most of the building codes strict enough to withstand the strong earthquakes. So that's usually what the age that I'm a bit worried about, like if it's older than that. But this one should be okay. But then, I mean, I hear so many different things. Like I talk to real estate agents who say that it's better to buy things that was built like in the early 80s, because that's when the Japanese economy was like super strong and everybody had tons of money, so they didn't really need to save any costs when building buildings. But then after the bubble burst in around the 1990, some say that that's when everybody got much more conscious about the construction cost, and that some companies started to cut corners. So I don't really know. It's a bit complicated. Hey Jeffrey. So okay. Well, feel free to catch up with me if you're up for it. Otherwise, no worries. I'll see you some other time. Really hope I can come check out your exhibition. You said you will be there again next weekend, right? I really try to join you for that. Such a nice morning, like really not a single cloud on the sky. The sun feels warm and nice. I'm wearing this like down jacket right now, but I'll probably need to remove it soon. gonna get decently warm today, like 15 degrees I think. But it's still kind of early, so right now it's a bit cold. It's 11 degrees now. And it will go up to, yeah, 14. Very sunny day indeed. Yeah. In other news, from next year I will, some of you know, I have this day job that I do for a Swedish company. I work 50% for them, but from next year I will cut back on that a little bit. We haven't really agreed on the exact new terms, but I will have more time available for my own stuff, so that should also mean that I can focus a little bit more on YouTube. So yeah, looking forward to that. Even though I enjoy that job a lot and it's great in so many ways, but it's been a little bit too busy to juggle 3 things, like my photography business, my YouTube, and my day job. So cutting down on the day job will probably lead to significantly less stress for me personally, and that should be a good thing for this YouTube channel. Salmon and trout restaurant. Sounds good. Coffee and green tea. Oh yeah, I think I mentioned this. I've never been to this place before, but I always notice it whenever I pass here, and I think it looks kind of inviting and interesting. Anyway, yeah, we're very close to Shimokitazawa. And there I'll just basically continue straight up north. Deadline for a video, I see. Jeffrey, no worries at all. It's good to hear that you have so much work. That should be a good thing for your potential future here in Japan, right? That's very good to hear. It goes well. You'll have a productive day. That your client will be happy. Where are we walking to? We are walking to Nakano, from Sangenjaya to Nakano. Pretty long walk. 7 point something K. A little bit longer than usual. Looks a bit inviting to me as well. Never been there. By the way, Jeffrey, do you have any coffee shop recommendations on this route? I walked to Nakano, so somewhere after Shimokitazawa, ideally, I would like to stop for a nice cappuccino. Let me check quickly before I leave. Yeah, I guess there's a ton in Shimokitazawa, but I'd rather go somewhere a little bit more local for the coffee. Well, we'll see. If I pass something in Shimokitazawa, I might stop there. Maybe somewhere around Sasazuka or Higashikitazawa. Nice old traditional house. Delicious factory. And the reflection reveal. Okay, George, thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your day too. Oh, Billman, you enjoyed those chill out relaxation drinks so much that you want to get a shipment to the US? I'll let you know if I stumble across anything, in the unlikely event that I would stumble across anything with regards to those. Everywhere, you know, is closed on Mondays. Ah, that's too bad. Local nursery kids here. I will put the camera away. Oh, building a new building here. There used to be a very nice fish izakaya in the old building here on the bottom floor, but now they're building a new one. Hope that izakaya will reopen in the new building. Let me just show you. Very difficult to see, I guess. Maybe later. Paddler's Coffee in Nishihara. Okay, thanks, Jeffrey. I'll see if I will pass around there. It's a bit windy today, actually. Hope you're not too annoyed by the wind noise. Bit of a detour east, yeah, but it's kind of on the way. Yeah, I know the Nishihara neighborhood. Used to live there once upon a time. Oh, 200 viewers. Wonderful. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. Hope you will enjoy this walk. It's a wonderful morning here. Shimokitazawa, yeah, it's a lively area, but it's still a bit too early. Like 2 hours from now or 1 hour from now, it will be way more lively. This is one of the main streets through the neighborhood. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, Shimokitazawa is a very popular neighborhood to live. Has been ranked like one of the best Tokyo neighborhoods many times. It's a place where there's lots of second-hand clothing shops. It has a lively music scene, lots of live venues. Very popular for the kind of younger Tokyo crowd in the creative fields. Very nice neighborhood. I used to live here myself well over 10 years ago now. I enjoyed it a lot. And it also has direct access to both Shibuya and Shinjuku, which is also one of the reasons why it's so popular. It's like less than 10 minutes to both of those areas. And then you also, of course, it's also famous for all these paintings on the shutters, which gives it a bit of a distinct character. What time is it there? So it's currently 11 in the morning. How long is today's walk? So the plan is to walk this route. So 7.3 kilometers, 1 hour and 44 minutes, and I walked for almost half an hour now. So at least another hour, probably more like another hour and a half, including a coffee break. Yeah, one of the train lines here is the Keio Inokashira line, which goes above ground, and then there's also the Odakyu line, which stops underground. Wow, and several police here. That's unusual. I wonder what could have happened. Some accident maybe. So this is the entrance to the station here. Changed a lot since I used to live here. This used to be train tracks for the Odakyu line, but then they buried that one underground and freed up a lot of space, which is still being like repurposed. It was quite controversial, like a lot of the locals were really against all these redevelopment plans, but I think now, with big parts of it being completed, I think they've done a pretty good job. I don't mind it too much, but of course it had quite a different vibe before. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Coffee o'clock, very generous. Got followed by someone asking what are you doing or what is that for? No, I don't think so. There was one time when an uneducated young cop told me that I couldn't film where I was filming. Some of you might remember that, just as I started a stream in front of Tama Plaza station. But yeah, that's the only time. Basically, as long as you are on public streets, public spaces, there's nothing stopping you from filming. Honolulu 行ったことありますか? 行ったことありますか? Maybe. 行ったことあります. Yes, I've been to Honolulu. Went there. Let's go down this street. I went there in 2017. Went to Hawaii. 2017 was it? I think so. That's actually where I proposed to my wife. Not in Honolulu, but on a rocky volcanic beach not too far away from it. All these narrow side streets are pretty scenic at night. It looks a little bit, well, not terribly interesting in the daytime maybe, but this neighborhood really comes to its best at night. Just like so many other neighborhoods in Tokyo and Japan. Yeah, Yen, you remember, right? It's a long time ago now, probably over 2 years. It's hard to think of a beach that is rocky rather than sand. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but that beach was quite famous. And my wife, who is also a photographer, she had booked a photo shoot with a photographer in Hawaii that she liked. And I thought, oh, why not? That's a good moment, good time to pop the question. And unfortunately I was a little bit too nervous, so I had to wait until after the photo session, so we didn't get any pictures of the actual moment. Hello Luke, we are in Shimokitazawa. Over there you see Shimokitazawa station. And we are heading north. The plan is to walk all the way to Nakano. Which is probably still about 5-6 kilometers away maybe. Look, there's some Christmas decorations here. Unite all. Or are you in Japan again? So yeah, these buildings are also part of this redevelopment plan. They're built on what used to once be train tracks. Still in Sweden, okay. Maybe you live on Japan time zone even when you're in Sweden. It's 2 o'clock at night in Sweden right now, right, isn't it? This coffee shop isn't too bad. But I think I'll go for something a bit more local. Take a look at the map again. windy there. Yeah, there are like gusts of wind every now and then. Not too bad. I think I took the right turn now. Yes. Now I'm back, heading to the north. I was walking to the west there for a little while. It's a really refreshing day today. Yeah, it is. It is. There's an amazing gluten-free bakery in Shimokitazawa. Yeah, there's lots of good bakeries and coffee shops in this part of town. The redevelopment of the Odaki line has relocation of the Odaki line underground has cleaned up this area. Yeah, a lot of some people say that. Some people say that it has killed a bit of Shimokitazawa's charm. I'm somewhere in between, but mostly positive. Mostly positive. I mean, it is a bit different now compared to what it used to, but then again, that's Tokyo. Tokyo is this city that always keeps changing and developing, and I think a lot of that space that was freed up has been used in a good way. It has created places where I personally don't mind hanging out, so that's a good thing. I think that big building we see over there is Sasazuka station, where they also built. I also lived around there once upon a time, and back then that building wasn't there, but then it popped up shortly after I moved away. Yeah, this is what a typical Japanese or typical Tokyo upper middle class neighborhood looks like. And there you got a bit of a reflection reveal again. There's a lot of nice houses in this part of town, and land prices are relatively high, but it's also a very popular part of Tokyo to live. You see a mix of single family homes and smaller apartment buildings. So it's not too difficult to find a reasonably priced rental apartment around here. That's what I used to live in when I was in this neighborhood. But yeah, if you want to buy a land to build your own house, you have to be relatively well off, like upper middle class, I would say. Two adults, both working better than average jobs, can afford a place here maybe. But yeah, I don't think a family with only one person working, they cannot afford a place here. Unless that person has a very good job, of course. Let's see, let's hope that this is not a dead end. No, it doesn't look like it. Good, good. 40 minutes. And I'm not even halfway yet. I'm pretty sure that I used to have a friend not living too far away from here. That was also more than 10 years ago. I think these streets are where I used to walk a lot, but it has just changed so much, so I hardly recognize where I am anymore. Yeah, Jenny, I know. Australia is very expensive, isn't it? Here in Japan, it used to be the norm. Even when my generation grew up, like back in the 80s, 90s, to just have one person working, and usually the wife staying at home, being a housewife. I mean, it's still not uncommon in Japan, but I think even here prices have increased quite a bit, and it's more difficult now than what it used to be. But yeah, I have several friends where just the man is working, so there's still couples like that. This street, actually, if I walk this way for 20 minutes, 25, I will get to Yoyogi Park. So yeah, we're pretty close to central Tokyo. Like, if you live around here, you can definitely bike to many parts of central Tokyo. That's one of the reasons why it's so popular to live around here, that it is so close to the city center, but it still has its own local vibe, lots of things to do in the local neighborhoods as well. Garfield lost, yay! Yeah, I was lost there for a brief moment, but now I know where I am. Now I'm not lost anymore, sorry. The light just changed as I got to this crossing. Green again now. Over there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a tower sticking up. Actually, as far as I know, the only mosque in Tokyo that actually looks like a mosque. There are lots of small mosques in like apartments and stuff like that, but this is the biggest and like, yeah, most well-known, like the only well-known mosque in Tokyo. Sokoga Shiritai. No, sorry, I don't even know what that is. But I basically don't watch anything. Don't have time to watch things anymore. Was that black and white car just passing a taxi or a police? It was neither. It was a patrol car. Like, in many Japanese neighborhoods you have this like local, I think I can walk this way. I have this local, how should I say, like community safety groups. I think it's mostly consisting of like older people who are retired and doing it voluntarily. And yeah, it was one of those. I don't exactly know what they're for and if they're doing anything useful, but they're usually kind of cute. Nostalgic to walk these streets. Really enjoyed the years when I was living around here. I was like kind of apartment hopping, but always in this kind of neighborhood, like Shimokitazawa, Sasazuka, Hatagaya. Those are all areas relatively close to each other. And yeah, I have some pretty fond memories from that era. I was mostly staying in like share houses though, so I wouldn't want to go back to living like that, but it was a fun time. There, I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in on it. High rises over there. That one is the Park Hyatt Tower, and to the left of it you see Tokyo Opera City. So that's Shinjuku over there. But we are heading this way. So that means that we're on the right track, because if that's Shinjuku, it means that's east, but we are heading north. I also remember Yamaguchi-san told me that he used to live around here once upon a time. Yamaguchi-san is one of my long-term viewers. Oh, this place is new. Knopf. What's this? Cafe? Salon? Interesting. Looks nice. Let's see. They open at 11, so half an hour too early. Wait along for that long. Little bar, shop. Billman, yeah, you stayed at some capsule hotels, right? Those can be great. As long as you're not a light sleeper, I don't think capsule hotels are too bad. Oh, looks like a nice little soba restaurant. Oh, soba. Recently I've been having a lot of soba. So good. Yeah, I'm a very light sleeper myself, so capsule hotels doesn't really work for me. But quite good. Good budget option. And definitely cheaper than Park Hyatt, yeah. I think Sasazuka station should just be this, do a little zigzag turn here. If my memory serves me correctly, which it did. I'm now on the little Shotengai here in Sasazuka. sleep at all. Okay. Good old Sasazuka. I have so many fond memories of this place. Snapping some photos. Today's camera is the Nikon ZFC with the kit lens. I really like this camera. It's like I have so many cameras, some really high-end stuff. This is one of the most cheapest and basic cameras I have, but it's actually one I use the most. I never use it for work, but for all my private stuff, I really like this little thing. It's fun to use. My playlist used to be down here, where I used to live. Check. Have the rents here changed much? Well, these are all pretty big apartments. A little bit expensive, yeah. I think when I lived here I paid 65,000 yen a month, if I remember correctly, for a room in a share house. But it was a big room and it was a very nice share house. It was like its own house, slightly older traditional Japanese house, but not too uncomfortable. But yeah, that was 10 years ago when I was a poor student, language school. 12 years ago maybe. This area also is like, I think 3 or 4 stops from Shinjuku. So very close, very convenient. And another one of those neighborhoods that has, you know, everything you need at the station, like plenty of shops. Now it's even more than when I lived here. And some nice older shopping streets as well, like the one I just walked on. It was a very nice place to live. The only downside and a reason why I wouldn't want to live here now is that there aren't that much green spaces around. So I guess the closest major park is probably Yoyogi, which is a little bit far away. So that's very important to me now. And I have a small child, but I didn't really care much about that when I was young and single. Actually the highway we take when we go to Kawaguchiko, if you go really far this direction. Let's see, we should, oh, maybe not, but yeah, Shinjuku is that way. Another one of the cozy local shopping streets. there's all kinds of capsule hotels. Some are really just a tiny capsule, others are like, yeah, a small room. There are many different kinds. Some are like very nice, nicely decorated and have like amazing facilities. Others are really like no frills and just a really cheap place to spend the night. A lot of variety. Food. I think a lot of these small shops and restaurants are starting to prepare for lunch. Oh no! I used to have a cafe that I really liked. Used to be here, but it looks like it has turned into an izakaya. That's a little bit sad to see. There's a place called Chubby, which I used to go to a lot. They had like really great lunch sets, and it was also a good place to sit and work. But yeah, Tokyo keeps changing. Dream of being buried alive when sleeping in a cafe. No, I'm not claustrophobic, so I'm okay. But it might make some people a bit uncomfortable. Today's a long walk. Yeah, kind of. I guess we're about halfway through now. Let me check. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know if you can see, but we started here, we're going here, and now we're here. So it looks pretty much like we're in the middle, yeah. Is it weird to sit and work in Tokyo at a cafe? No, it's not weird. A lot of people do it. Like if you go to any Starbucks, you always see a bunch of people with laptops. It's not weird at all. This place is very nice. It's a onigiri senmon. They only have onigiri. Similar to the place I went with Lemmy on my last live stream, except that this one only does takeout. They don't have any eat-in places. So that's Shinjuku over there. And a bunch of kids running crossing the street. This street is also very nice, like to walk down here all the way to Shinjuku. I used to do that walk a lot when I lived around here. And I'm kind of tempted to do it now, but since I have a clear goal, which is Nakano, I will not. Maybe another time. Here's a nice little map of this Shoten guy that lists all the shops. So we're here now, so it continues for quite some time. Lots of shops. Jugosaka, Sasazuka Jugosaka Street. Where are you currently? Hey Courtney, so I just passed Sasazuka station. I'm walking from Sangenjaya to Nakano. I just passed Sasazuka. I'm walking north, pretty much straight north. In Hawaii we call onigiri musubi. Yeah, they call musubi here too. I don't know exactly the difference, if there is a difference or if it's just two words meaning the same thing. Oh, this looks like a kind of fancy, nice coffee shop. Jockey Coffee. Maybe I'll try this. I'll get a latte here. Konnichiwa. Cafe latte.
でいいですか？
はい、ホットで。
はい、500円です。
はい。スイカで払いますか？
ちょっと払いますよ。
Connected to the restaurant nearby, next door. Let's hope that we won't have any audio music problems. Ah, そうですか。イタリアンですか？
あ、イタリアンで。
ああ、いいね。外で待ってます。
わかりました。
I'll wait outside to reduce the risk of having any copyright issues. I manually switched off the audio just to reduce the risk. But then I realized it's probably gonna take her a little while to make the coffee, and I don't want to be muted for that long, so better to wait outside. She said this coffee shop has been here for 8 years, so they probably just opened a few years after I left them. Let me take a closer look at that route now. Yeah, so I'm basically just gonna continue straight up north. I can just walk along this big road, but that would be pretty boring, so I'll rather like zigzag these local streets to make for a more interesting video for you. But yeah. So let's see, we might get there around noon. Hi, ありがとうございます。どうも。Today's coffee, Yoki coffee. I don't think the jackhammers are copyrighted now, but who knows? Maybe I'll get a claim from like Einstürzende Neubauten or some industry band like that. Nice coffee. Quite mild, but tasty. I think the Shoten guy pretty much ends here. No, it's mostly residential. It's a unique sound in our construction tools, yeah. It resonates at a very particular frequency. No one else can make it sound like that. Could happen. Feels good to walk Tokyo streets again. It's been way too long since my last walk, and also long time since I walked in a more central, or not central, but like these kind of neighborhoods. I've done a lot of walks in around my local neighborhood, but always a joy to come to these kind of areas where I used to live once upon a time, and get a bit nostalgic about that. Oh yeah, it even says here on the cup since 2010, but that's maybe the roastery. Maybe that was located somewhere else then, because she said that that coffee shop had been there for 8 years, so that's since 2015. Oh, here we have some nice danchi. I love danchi. Never lived in one myself though, but charming, and I like the fact that they usually have their own little green space. Battery is holding up very well today. I've been walking for an hour and 10 minutes and I'm still at 70% battery. That's surprisingly good. Saying 3,000 yen, $3,000 for business class from Sydney to Haneda. Wow, that's a lot. I don't think I've ever flown business class. No, we got upgraded once, but I think that was just the premium economy. Here, I think now we're in this kind of area where there's not really any station terribly nearby, so prices around here should be relatively cheap. Like anything 15 minutes away from a station is, yeah, now we're like right between Honancho and Sasazuka. But neither of those stations are that close. So around here you can probably find relatively... Oh, okay, here we go. Honancho, 830 meters. Hiromachi Mirai Park. Sasazuka station, yeah. Well, I mean, both are within 1 kilometer, so it's not terribly far. Let me just check the map again, so I'm not... It says... No, I think I can just continue this way. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Premium economy is what business class was back in the 2000s. Yeah, maybe. Is it? I don't know. I thought business class used to be more fancy. Another nice old danchi. These buildings are probably 50, 60 years old and will probably not be around for that much longer. All over Tokyo you see these kind of buildings being demolished to make place for newer constructions. And I think in a building like this maybe I would be a little bit concerned about earthquake safety. These are too old. Walks like this really reminds me of why I love living in Tokyo. It's just so peaceful and enjoyable to stroll around these kind of neighborhoods. It makes me feel like all the problems of the world are very far away. Japan is its own little island, of course with its own set of problems, but compared to many other places, things are just so peaceful and slow here. But these government housing, yes, usually they are. Maybe always. Yeah, I think all the danchi are. Oh, and look! Here's a playground which I would not consider particularly sad at all. It has trees, it has some colorful places for the kids to play, it has a rest space, benches, even a little, what is this, basketball. Not bad at all. At all. I would rank this maybe, I don't know, 2 out of 5 on my sadness rating, where 5 is ultimate sadness and 1 is not sad at all. It's a little bit poorly maintained. That's why I'm not giving it a 1 out of 5. And it could be greener. It could have some grass. But overall, hope you can hear me over all this construction noise going on. That's not a very pleasant noise. Yeah, for some reason grass at playgrounds is not very common in Tokyo. Is there a certain building age that makes the buildings less safe? Well, yeah, we touched on that earlier in the walk, but I think it was sometime in the mid-80s. Wow, this is an interesting facade. In the mid-80s that most of the current safety standards were put into place. So I would say that's usually where my mental kind of line goes. But if it's older than mid 80s, then I would be a little bit wary with terms of earthquake safety. But of course, newer should be better, because you also have to factor in the fact that there are earthquakes all the time in Japan, and I'm just a layman. I don't know all the factors that goes into this, but at least to me it feels like the more times a building has experienced an earthquake, the less safe it gets. So if it's an old building, of course, that means it has been through more earthquakes. Oh, nice shrine here. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with this one. What's it called? I can't read this kanji. Tada. Probably not. Check. Ah, Tada Jinja. Huh. Wow, I'm impressed. Or not really. I mean, those kanji are pretty basic, but Tada is not a terribly common name. Oh, let me see. Now I'm actually heading the wrong direction. Oops. Sasazuka. I took the wrong route over here. I need to go a different direction. Or no? No, it's just my GPS being wonky. Sorry. Which way am I supposed to go? Oh, maybe this. Okay, let's go this way. I think that should put me on the best track towards Nakano. $250 people watching now. Great! It's been a long time without any streams, but good that you're still watching me. Appreciate that. And I think, yeah, in December I'll try to stream a little bit more often again. November was quite abnormal in the fact that I only did, I think, one live stream in the entire month, despite being in Japan. Should we take a little look inside? Why not? It's always nice to check out a new shrine when I stumble across one. How cold is Tokyo now? It's currently 12 degrees according to my Apple Watch. Quite comfortable. It's really a day where there's lots of maintenance and construction work going on all over the place. Autumn cleaning, preparing for the winter season maybe? I don't know. Degrees. Yeah, to some of you, if you're from warmer countries, that might seem a little bit cold, but as someone from Sweden, I think 12 degrees in December is really nice. Where I'm from, it's probably more like minus 12 degrees right now, so 12 degrees is comfortable. Interesting pink building. Okay, so this building next door to the shrine was actually a temple. I agree, Jenny deserves to visit Tokyo at some point. Nothing to do here. Another big residential project maybe? Who knows? Looks like a really big chunk of land that's being repurposed. Minamidai is the name of this neighborhood. Not terribly familiar with this exact place. I think we're about 3 kilometers from Nakano maybe? Something like that. Getting close to Nakano Fuji station, which is a very, very cozy neighborhood. First time I see a pink building in Tokyo. They're not entirely uncommon. It's not the first time I see one. Actually, the first place I ever lived when coming to Tokyo was a pink building. A share house close to Yoyogi station, ran by Sakura House, which is one of the big share house companies. And that was a pink building. Oh, thank you, Rockaway Siren. Thank you. As always, I keep mentioning this. It's the support that I get from you viewers who motivates me to keep going on these walks. Of course, I enjoy it a lot. Even when I'm not streaming as well, but yeah, that financial support and financial boost you're giving me is giving me that extra little push to today, for example, rather than staying at home. This morning I decided to venture out on a longish walk, spend some time with you. It means a lot. Thank you. Pink shorts as well. Yeah, I'm too sad that I can't find pink shorts in my size anymore. They're not a part of the Uniqlo's lineup anymore. I need to find another distributor for next summer. Let's see. Let's go. Let's take left here and get lost on the small side streets. I see Shinjuku in the distance. Battery is now down to 60% after almost 1.5 hours of walking. So, and I do have a power bank and cable with me in case I need it, but I won't need it today, so that's good. No more pink shorts. Yeah, I didn't have any last summer. I think, well, last summer, I mean, I was in Sweden for most of the summer, and actually Swedish summer was very cold this year, so it wasn't many days where I could wear shorts at all. But I think my pink shorts, they were quite old, so I think I threw them away. Just planning to get a new pair, but then yeah, they didn't have them anymore. Who knows? Maybe it will be back next summer. Yeah, maybe I can find it on Amazon or Rakuten. I just don't like buying clothes online. I prefer to be able to try things on first. And it's such a hassle to return things. Oh wow, this building already has Nakano in the name. It's interesting. Well, I guess it's because we're close to Nakano Shimbashi, of course. How stupid I am. Nakano is a pretty big area, but it's also a very small ku, Nakano ku, like the ward. It's its own ward, but it's a very small one. Hey Brandon, good to see you here. Yeah, I'm good now. I've been back on my feet for over a week now, so but I was knocked out for about a week, 5-6 days, and still, yeah, I got tested for this and that, but the doctor couldn't figure out what I was actually suffering from. Anyway, I'm feeling better now, so. Oh, Garfield, wow, thank you. Thank you for the generous super chat. Or actually, I don't know how generous it is, but $100 sounds like a lot, but I don't know how much is 100 Hong Kong dollars. Probably enough to buy me lunch at least. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, almost 2,000 yen. Thank you so much. So if we head up here, we should hit this nice little river which runs close to this station. Here's another building with somewhat unique design. What is this? Kingaku no Oka. It looks like it might be some sort of religious association, maybe? Not sure. Thank you, Garfield. Thank you, Jenny. And thank you, everyone else. Billman. broke away siren for your super chats. I'll treat myself to a nice lunch after this walk. YouTube takes, yeah, I think they take 30% of the super chat. But like I said so many times before, by the way, I just started chewing on a gum because I had this like taste of old coffee in my mouth, which is not terribly pleasant. Yeah, I don't know. I think the YouTube model is pretty fair, and I'm not bothered by the fact that Google takes 30%, I think, of the super chats and 40% of the ad revenue. I think that's fair because to maintain the servers and the fact that it gives us the whole payment processing system and they sell the ads and all that, I think it's fair. I'm not annoyed by that. One thing that I am annoyed by though is people using ad blockers. That's, in my opinion, a pretty bad practice. If you actively watch YouTube and you have some people creating YouTube content that you enjoy and that you think are doing a good job, using an ad blocker is, in my opinion, is kind of the same as stealing from us. I mean, maybe it's okay if you make up for it by supporting those creators that you enjoy directly, then I can kind of accept it. But yeah. Especially when there is YouTube Premium, which for a low monthly cost let you watch YouTube without any ads, and also gives us creators more financial support. So the option is there if the ads are annoying to you. Yeah, thank you, Daniel, for being a YouTube Premium subscriber. Oh, I think this mansion is new. I walked this street before and I don't think I've seen this tower before. Nice with the leaves here, the sunlight shining through. And here I believe we have the river, or maybe not yet. Shinjuku down there again. These looking like that are long gone here. Yeah, same in Sweden. I think leaves were starting to turn yellow by the time I left Sweden, which was in September. Now there's definitely no leaves left on the trees there anymore. Not much water in the river here. Yeah. updates about successful live stream attempts with the Pocket 3. No, I haven't tried again, and I don't think I will, because there's really no benefit compared to using an iPhone. Maybe it could be better if I really wanted to be discreet, or if I'm doing a night stream and it's really dark, then the Osmo Pocket would be better. Closer and closer to Nakano. Goal for today's walk. Try to make a turn somewhere, otherwise, like if I just follow this road straight I will get to Nakano, but those of you who know me knows that I don't like the sound of traffic and to be next to cars, so I think I will head to some quieter street. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you so much for the super chat, super sticker. Have you had a coffee break yet? Asked Justin. Yes, I had one half an hour ago. Okay, yeah, this street is the same one that goes all the way to Nakano Station. Right. Now I know where I am. I'm getting a bit nostalgic about it again, because I lived close to this area too once upon a time. Can we maybe take a back street here? quick camera. The GPS is really acting weird today. Have green cars? Sorry, I don't understand what you mean, green cars. Like cars that are colored green that drive on the street? I'm sure there's green cars of the on the streets of Japan. Maybe not the most common color, but or are you talking about the green cars on the trains? Which is the first class equivalent on the JR trains. Way? Probably. Happy delivery guy. Yeah, it looks like we can move down here and then turn right. This neighborhood feels very dense. Very, very dense. Not the most attractive type of neighborhood in my opinion. But yeah, there are plenty of neighborhoods like this in Tokyo. Back on Nakano. I'm getting hungry. I'm looking forward to having lunch after this walk before checking out Fuji for the camera lens. Turned left, but I turned right. Oh, sorry. Maybe I'm a little bit confused. Maybe I'm making mistakes in what I say. It's my favorite restaurant in Tokyo. Wow. Impossible to just mention one. There are so many nice restaurants in this city, and it really depends on my mood. Sometimes my favorite restaurant is a little Thai restaurant close to where I live that has like super cheap lunches. Other days it would be probably some sushi restaurant, and another day, maybe some soba restaurants. Whoa, 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 whoa. Noisy here. Over there is Nakano station. And a little bit further this way would take us to Higashikoenji station, where I used to live. So yeah, it's really impossible to say like a favorite restaurant. There's just so much, so many different ones. Quite often I'm really fond of the cheap local teishoku restaurants where you can get like a traditional Japanese set meal for usually less than 1,000 yen. That means like maybe some grilled fish, a bowl of rice, miso soup and some pickles. Food like that. Just cheap, basic Japanese food. I'm very fond of that. I'm not really a fine dining kind of person. I feel much more satisfaction having like a good, humble, cheap meal than paying 10 times as much for something that might look fancy, but is otherwise more often than not quite disappointing. See rainbow in Japan? Yeah, of course. Of course. When it rains and the sun shines, we see rainbows. Just like anywhere else. Few things I still like about the US are cheap breakfast diners. Yeah? How much is a cheap breakfast in the US? I'm very fond of cheap breakfast as well. Here in Japan, most coffee shops have like breakfast sets for like 400 yen or sometimes even less. That usually gives you like a toast, maybe a boiled egg and a cup of coffee. Morning setto. I used to always have my breakfast out, but that was before I had a family. Now we always eat breakfast at home. Steps, 8.6 kilometers so far today. Cheap breakfast for US is $9.50. Yeah, okay. So almost 3 times more than in Tokyo. Interesting. Which is why Japan wins, definitely, yeah. Yeah, those of you who has followed me for a while know that for the last 2 years we've been like this close to move back to my home country, Sweden. But when summing up all the pros and cons of living in Japan versus Sweden, it's just so many things that Japan does so much better, including just general affordability and cost of living. That, yeah, we're not ready. We're not able to leave this place. Yeah, I can imagine, Billman, that American breakfast is probably a bit more voluminous than a Japanese one. But then again, like if you go to the Japanese, like the chain restaurants, like Matsuya, Sukiya, then you can have like a pretty solid breakfast for like 500 yen as well. So, which has like, for example, rice, miso soup, fried eggs, sausages, and a salad. I don't know exactly how much those are now, but I think around 500 yen. Is there a local fast food only in Japan? Yeah, plenty. I think Japan has pretty unique food culture with lots of things that, well, these days you can probably find it elsewhere too, but things that are like distinctively Japanese. Like for example, udon chains are everywhere in Japan. Very cheap fast food. Yes, I've experienced the coffee set with the tiniest waffle. I posted about that on Twitter. That was hilarious. Oh, no, I think Nakano has changed a lot too. Maybe not. I rarely approach Nakano from this direction. But this view is somewhat unfamiliar to me. But yeah, here is the Shotengai that runs to Nakano Station, so we're almost there. Actually, because of that, I think I want to cross here. Your family, good to see you, T and all. Oh, thank you, Carlos. Yeah, you should watch the beginning of this stream where I talked a little bit about some personal stuff and what we've been up to recently, including potentially buying a second home. I went to have a look at one in this last weekend. So yeah, make sure to rewatch the beginning of this stream if you want to hear me talk a little bit about that. Why we eventually decided not to buy the place we were looking at. Yamaguchi Hondori. When I lived in Nakano, I was living on the other side of the station, so I didn't really come to this part of Nakano very often. It's pretty much exactly 2 hours to walk from Sangenjaya to Nakano today. I was quite efficient, like I didn't have a long coffee break. I walked relatively fast, pretty much straight the entire walk, but still a nice way to start the day. And like I said, I hope I'll be able to start streaming more frequently again soon. Maybe get from next year when I cut down on my other work, maybe I can start doing the train line walks a little bit more ambitiously again. He should go to elementary school very soon. She's in nursery now. She's 3. I think elementary school is from 6, 5 or 6. Honestly don't know. I'm not too well educated about the school system here. However, one thing I do know is that from next year her nursery will be free. Yay! From 3 years old until 5 years old it's free. Which is very nice because we are paying 80,000, more than 80,000 yen per month for her nursery right now, which in my opinion is very expensive, 4 times more expensive than what we would have paid in Sweden. But yeah, now it will finally be free, so I'm looking forward to that. Anyway, I made it to Nakano. Wonderful. In exactly 1 hour and 58 minutes. So when I lived here in Nakano, which is just like 6-7 years ago, these buildings were not here. Now it looks like they're also building something new here. Nakano too is changing a lot. Everywhere is changing a lot. Well, looks like they might even build something above the train tracks. Interesting. So, northern exit of Nakano Station, where I used to get on and off the train pretty much every day a couple of years ago. This is where I will wave goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed this walk, and hopefully, most likely, it won't be another month until my next walk. I think I'll walk again very soon, probably later this week. This was such a nice experience. Reminded me of how much I've missed doing this. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye. Hej då. Auf Wiedersehen und mata ne. Cheers. Oh, I don't even remember how to end the stream. There we go.